Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Janiqua here, and I am here with my beautiful daughter,
Sarai.
Yes, and today we are going to be talking about 10 things they don't tell you during delivery. At least this was my story. So, you know, our story, yes, because she was in my womb. Go ahead, girl. You better go ahead and say you was present during this time. So stick around and let's get into the video. So number one, the first thing I did not know about was before your water break, you lose something called a mucus plug. I lost my mucus plug and my water had not broken yet. Actually, my water, I don't even think my water broke. They had to break my water for me when I was like in the hospital already admitted. But yeah, your mucus plug is something that forms in the cervical canal to protect baby from bacteria or infection. And I did take a picture of it, but that was in 2015, so I don't know where that picture is at. So I will place a picture of what it looks like somewhere in this video, and it really is just what it sounds like. It looks like mucus. And it's just like this stringy thing that just comes out. And what happened with me when I was pregnant with Sarai was that came out, and I didn't go to the hospital because it happened at like 10 something at night, and I was leaking slowly the amniotic fluid throughout the night. And so that's the reason why when I did go to the hospital in the morning, they admitted me, because they needed to make sure that I had enough fluid inside of me to make sure that she was going to be okay. Number 2, once you get admitted into the hospital, they put an IV in your veins, a needle, and it's in your hand. When I tell you, that thing burns like fire. Okay, they talk about a ring of fire down there. Putting a needle in your hand and then flushing it with saline water, whatever it is that they put in there, that thing burned like I don't even know what. That was a terrible experience. And they can't put it anywhere else, like in your arm and stuff, because then it'll be challenging for you to really like move around or when to hold the baby, because it's a needle. So they put it in the back of your hand. Again, painful experience, so uncomfortable. Number 3, they flush you with something called an enema. They stick the little tube thing up your butt, and then they flush you with saline. It seems like they just like to use saline. I don't know. With some kind of saline, what is it? I don't know. Some kind of saline laxative that just flushes up your butt, and then everything just comes down. Like you run to the bathroom right away, and it just gets rid of all of that stuff. And I guess they do that to make sure that you don't poop while you're pushing. So yeah. Number 4, once you are admitted, you cannot eat. It does not matter how long you are in labor for. You cannot eat anything. The only thing that you can do is like drink liquid, like water, chew on some ice and stuff like that, but you cannot eat. My husband came in the room with some Chinese food, okay? He had some shrimp and broccoli, which is my favorite. I took sucked on a little bit of the broccoli juice. But please, okay, husbands, don't do that. Just don't do it. If you know your wife can't eat outside of the room, okay, please, because that's just that was painful. So yeah, no food until the baby is delivered. Number 5, most of the time you are stuck lying on the bed on your back or your side. So like imagine you're having like really strong period cramps, and you know how we like to lean over and hunch over and stuff like that. You imagine just having to lay down on your back or just like roll over to your side a little bit. Like it just was so uncomfortable. I envision that my experience, I'll be able to walk around the hospital. Like I see so many videos of people walking around, bouncing on the bouncy ball to kind of like get the baby out and stuff like that. Like I was literally tied to the bed from the moment that I got there to the moment that I left, until except for the time when they put the enema in, and then I was able to go to the bathroom. But then after that, I was just stuck to the bed. Number 6, if you are not dilating fast enough, they offer you something called Pitocin. And Pitocin is a hormone that causes the uterus to contract, inducing labor and making the contractions even stronger. So this literally felt like I think I got to the hospital maybe early in the morning, and still I was at 2 centimeters dilated when I got there, and then like some hours had passed and I was still at like 2 centimeters, and I went to 3 centimeters, but I was just not dilating fast enough for them, I guess. And so they suggested the Pitocin, especially because I was leaking the fluid and she was in there, to kind of like get the contractions going. And when I say that thing felt like a knife was just being in my stabbed and just like turning in my stomach. Those contractions were so painful, and I'm praying that this time around I can experience natural contractions, because I think if I was able to last long with the Pitocin, I think I should be able to get through with the natural contractions. Number 7. Yeah, we over here sweating. Y'all don't understand. It's hot. Number 7. Epidurals don't always work. So when I was with, pregnant with her, I did end up giving into getting an epidural. I had this whole list in my, beforehand of like my hospital, what I want, what I didn't want. Don't ask me if I want an epidural. I don't want an epidural. Da, 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 da. I had all of this stuff mapped out. But I gave in. Them Pitocin contractions was so heavy, and they were like, well, if you get to 8 centimeters, you won't be able to get the epidural. So if you want it, you gotta go ahead and get it now. And I'm just like, I'm only at like 6 centimeters now, and the way this pain is, I can't imagine 8. But it's sharp, and then it goes away, and then it comes back, and that thing was painful. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so what happened to me was, by the time it was time for her to get delivered, and I was fully dilated, one half of my lower half of my body, which was my right side, that side was completely numb. I could not feel anything. But on my left side of my body, oh my goodness, the pain was just full on. Like, it was so painful. Unfortunately, my mom was holding up that leg, and my husband was holding up the leg that was numb. So he was just, he was holding it. My mom, she got the worst end of the stick, because I had her in a headlock. Like, it was just crazy. Sorry, mama. All right, number 8. The delivery room is not the same place that you go to after you have the baby. Like, you don't stay in that room. I remember when I did a hospital tour and they showed the delivery room, and we like, oh, this is nice and all of this stuff. We like, oh yeah, we gonna be in here, because first time parents, we don't know. They didn't show us where you go after the fact, so we was just thinking we gonna be in this nice room. We like, oh yeah, they got the bathtub over here and all that stuff. We thinking we could use it and stuff. They just have it there for show, y'all. They have it there for show. So yeah, the delivery room, you get placed in somewhere else, and it's possible that you will be placed with another mother and their child. So make sure that you ask that question, like, do I get placed by myself after the delivery? Am I going to be in my own room? That's something important that you want to make sure you ask the hospital that I didn't know about. Number 9. This is a little bit embarrassing. I'm not even going to front. But it is what it is. I was first time mom. I did not know. They don't teach you how to push. Now that sounds common sense, like you just push, right? But I'm thinking that, okay, in my mind, I'm like, well, I don't want to poop in front of everybody. I'm like, I don't want to be pushing, and I don't want poop to come out. So I'm pushing from my belly to go out my vagina. But that's not how you're supposed to push. You're supposed to push like you're pooping. So you're supposed to push like you giving a poop, like you pooping. So I was not pushing for a long time. I was pushing the wrong way, and she was not going anywhere. And so what ended up happening was they had to cut me. They had to cut my vagina open because she was not, I think her head was a little bit, right? Her head was there and stuff, but her head wasn't coming out. So they had to cut me and then stitch me back up afterwards. But yeah, that was something I did not know. But I'm glad that I know it now, because I feel like she would have been out a lot sooner if I would have known that I had to push the way that I poop. Period. All right. And last but not least, number 10. What they don't tell you is that after you push out the baby, you also have to push out the placenta. So once the baby is out and everything, they'll tell you, okay, you have to push again, and then you push the placenta out as well. I'm thinking that the placenta come out with the baby. I was like, what? That was kind of weird to me. It stood out to me. So, you know, that was number 10. And of all these things that I just said, all 10 things that I've just shared, many of them were negative experiences and things that really like stood out to me, and I was questioning like, what the world, right? But I do want to say that once the baby come out, once this beautiful creation of God comes out,
which is me.
yes, okay. Once she came out, almost everything that I had previously endured, all of the struggles, all of the pain, like it almost just immediately goes away, because when you hear her crying for the first time, you hear her little voice, or you get to hold her, then it's just like you're not even thinking about the pain. You're just in awe of God's beautiful creation. And so that was the beauty. That was the beauty of that. The pain seemingly does not exist anymore until the pain meds wear off. And then you have to deal with reality again. But just in that moment, you're just so in awe of God that everything was just worth it. So there it is. There you have it. 10 things that they don't tell you about labor and delivery. This was my personal story. I'm curious to see if anybody has experienced something similar to me. Please let me know in the chat which one of these 10 things did you also experience, or maybe your story was a little bit different. Drop your video in the chat, or share your story in the comments for us to hear. So that's it. That being said, I'm just gonna, I guess I'll show my belly a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'll end each video with my belly, even though I'm still bloated because it's late and my belly is a little bit big. So here we go. Your life matters from the womb to the tomb. Period. Okay? Babies are all God's creation. All by design. Nothing happens by mistake. It's all God's will. All right, and there you have it. Thank you for tuning into the video with me and my beautiful daughter. Love you guys. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.